Hi, everybody. Welcome to an edition of Yo on the Go Leadership Moments, where we look to upgrade all the vehicles in life. Today's special guest is Samarth, and he's a featured speaker at the IEEE 2021 Rising Stars Conference. Now, Samarth is in Sweden right now, and we're actually doing this from across the world. And he's an R&D manager of firmware and SDKs at Hitachi Power, particularly focusing on the modular advanced control for power grids. Now, Samarth, thank you so much for being on this program where we talk about leadership and leadership development and upgrading those vehicles in life. I know that power has been such an important aspect of our economy for the last 100 years, but specifically since the coronavirus pandemic has hit, that power distribution has changed drastically from moving from commercial houses and manufacturing facilities into actual people's houses and homes, and being able to distribute that must be a huge challenge. I'm curious, how do you as a leader in this field are able to modulate this change and to be able to lead everyone towards that new future?
Sure. Thank you, Terence. Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure to be here. Well, you said it very rightly. I mean, power is something that we all need. Power is something that we certainly cannot, or let's say most of the world now, or most of the people in the world cannot live without power now. So it becomes very, very important that we have a constant power supply to every place in the world, be it hospitals, be it universities, schools, be it households where we are working most of the time now, or even charging your cars nowadays. I mean, imagine if there was no power, most of the cars, electric cars, wouldn't be running anymore. So it becomes quite important for us. What we're doing just to be able to fight this is we focus quite a lot on renewable sources now. We try to generate as much electricity from renewable sources, and that helps us making sure that we never are in a lack of power. We are never in lack of any real demand, high demand of power at any given point of time. But also what matters here is that we are able to share electricity over long distances without much losses. And that's where Hitachi Power Grids is a pioneer. We believe in transmitting or transferring power over long distances without much losses to begin with. We want to make sure that our units, the installed base basically, they are occupying as less space as possible on the earth to keep the footprint really, really low. And at the same time, we are trying that we do not have any situations like blackouts around the world. So we really, really focus at the moment on quality, on making sure our equipment is high class. We have a cutting edge control platform system at the moment that we are really proud of. So all these together make a very, very reliable system that we can really be proud of. And if you look around the world now, we do not really have as many blackouts as we used to have just a few years ago. And that's just because we have become more and more capable in this field. We have become very reliable in this field, and our equipment, our technologies have really advanced at this moment. We didn't prepare for COVID, to be very frank this year, but I think we are doing very good. We have been able to keep our customers happy around the world. We haven't had many problems with electricity distribution around the world wherever we have Hitachi ABB Power Grids equipment actually. So challenging year, but we have been really on our toes, and we have been trying our best not to let anyone down.
Thank you. And thank you for doing that. There's a lot of that infrastructure that we've taken for granted for so long, and yet those are the things that allow us to do what we need to do from a day-to-day basis. I'm kind of curious, as you are an R&D manager looking towards the future of what power looks like. You mentioned renewables. I've heard about hybrid solutions where they're trying to put solar panels on top of reservoirs, both to reduce the level of evaporation, but also to balance that from power during the day versus being able to use gravity potential energy to generate power at night. What sort of things are you looking as you look to balance those renewable hybrid technologies moving forward in the future?
Sure. As we all know, the electricity demand around the world, it's only going to increase. We're never gonna look at less demand from the world, because the population is ever increasing. There are more and more industries around the world going for it. There is more number of cars on the road that needs electricity. So the demand is really not decreasing. However, on the other end, we definitely see a lot of opportunity when it comes to solar power, when it comes to wind power. We just recently have commissioned a lot of offshore wind farms, and by offshore I really mean these are wind farms in the sea somewhere, deep
Mm.
in the sea, and then we have a station where we collect all the power from these offshore wind farms, and then we transmit this power from the middle of the sea, from the middle of the ocean actually, coming all the way to your household. That has been a really good successful model for us, and we are still working on it. We are not 200% efficient as we would like to be, so we are trying our best. But that's certainly the place where we think we can ace, and we are trying our best to do that. So renewable sources of energy in all forms is very attractive to us at the moment.
Thank you. I think, being able to manage that change, to be able to look for those future options, those are huge things about leadership and an aspect of leadership. I'm curious, again, in terms of how you lead and you lead your team, when you face these difficulties, when the efficiency of your power distribution system and the actual power generation is not up to what you'd like to be for a productive energy source, what do you do? How do you overcome those hurdles as a team?
Yeah. So surely we are living in challenging times now, and it becomes even more important at this point of time as a leader that you show trust in your team, that you show trust in your technology, and that you make sure that the people you're working with, they know what is being asked for. We in Sweden have a very open culture, and it's something that I really appreciate. We definitely do not look down on people or people's competence. We tell them, well, look, this is a problem and this is where we want to be, and then the rest is up to you to play around. And they
Hmm.
most often, it is not the most talented people who come up with solutions. It's the people who have been working constantly on things, on problems, that come up with these innovative solutions.
Hmm.
So I'm very proud of my team that comes up with these solutions. They're really working hard all the time, even in situations as these, to come up with these solutions. So as a leader, you're not really solving problems, but basically you're enabling others to solve those
Hmm.
problems for you. And what really matters there is to show that you trust them. So
Hmm.
that's the key here. So and my team, I think they understand, and I understand them. They understand me, and we have a very good synergy in this way.
So absolutely, trust is a huge thing about leadership, and I hear that from you. And I hear that the trust in not looking for the out of the box ideas that are just coming from somebody who's new to the to the group, but really the ones who have looked at this problem for years and years on end, and that diligence is something that's valued. I very much appreciate that perspective. I think that that is something that, especially in the States, is not so much lauded. I think the States are more focused on the new thing, the most innovative thing, right? So we're a few years ago it was VR, then it became AI, then it's now quantum, right? There's always these hot topics that try to drive and skew new ideas. But you're saying that it's really that diligence to improve over long periods of time. Um,
Right.
what?
And just
Go
to
ahead.
add to that, Terence, just to add to that, I mean, if you look at this country here, and I'm not here trying to boast a bit about Sweden here, but to be very frank, I mean, if you look at the model that the Swedes have followed or the Scandinavians have followed, just over the past few decades, we have excellent companies going out of this country. Spotify to begin with. I think you all listen to
Mm,
Spotify music, and you can see
yeah.
how a country of 10 million population be so innovative. We have been ranked perhaps the most innovative countries in the world for many years now. I think this year we are second actually. But if you look at Spotify, look at Volvo, look at Ericsson, even ASEA in the past, Skype also actually. So
Mm-hmm.
all of them, H&M, they really let people play around with the technology areas, with the things they love, and that brings the best in people actually.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing your very unique perspective. And I'm sure that the IEEE Rising Stars are going to very much enjoy hearing you speak and also to hear your insights and your perspectives. And I think that's a great part about IEEE Rising Stars being a virtual global conference this year. We don't not only have participants that are global, but also speakers that are global. And I think it's a really unique thing. Thank you so much for having that opportunity for us to talk today and get a little bit of insight. And for all of you who are going to be attending, please reach out to Mr. Deo. And if you need to register, register down below in the description section. There's a link there for you. So I hope this was helpful for you. Until next time, bye.
See
Bye.
you at Rising Stars.